All right, guys. So we're out of the college football playoff. This is why. Listen, this is why I said yesterday, man. Listen, I'm not gonna give hope. I'm sorry. A lot of people kept telling me, man, that don't worry, Alabama's gonna get in. The committee values strength of schedule. Listen, I don't. I'm not doing that. I wasn't doing that yesterday. Like I said, the SMU Clemson game, that game put me through so many different emotions throughout the time. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna do this. I'm sorry. I'm just not. Because that game made me depressed, and I'm not even an SMU or Clemson fan. That game made me depressed. Like I'm trying to support. I'm trying to support one or the other, and I'm going through a roller coaster of emotions. I'm not going into to the next day thinking that, oh yeah, we're gonna be in, only to be let down again. I'm not doing that shit again, right? I've been let down during the season. I've been let down during the conference championship week when I missed out on the Penn State Oregon game because I'm focusing on the other one, and now this. Like, I'm not doing that. So I listen. SMU getting in was the politically correct decision to make. It was the correct decision from a political standpoint. At this point, it was a lesser of two evils. You had one, you are devaluing strength of schedule, and or the other one, you are devaluing conference championships. And you're pretty much saying the Big Ten and the SEC are the only two conference championship games that are safe, right? The other ones you have to win or you go home. It does not matter if you are 11-1. Hell, you can be 12-0. You lose in a conference championship, you're probably going to be out of that thing, right? Because you are putting the SEC and the Big Ten on a superior pedestal, which we're going in that direction anyway. It is only going to be a matter of time before we get two super conferences, and it's going to look like the AFC and the NFC conference in the National Football League. We're going in that direction anyway. It's just going to be a matter of time before it happens, right? But they were going to get the criticism they would have gotten if they would have put Bama in would have been insane. And 2 years in a row of just getting insane criticism, they were not willing to make that decision. They decided to go it safe. SMU competed. Yes, they lost the game, and yes, it is a participation trophy, but they competed against Clemson. They almost came back and won the game. Their worst loss is not worse than Bama's losses, right? Even though Bama's wins are much better, and I mean much better than SMU's. Bama plays in the superior conference. At the end of the day, the politically correct decision was SMU. Because at the end of the day, they will value conference championships more than they do other regular season games because the money is in those conference championship games. And I'm telling you, if SMU won't get in, you're gonna start seeing teams boycott from playing in conference championship games. You're gonna start seeing them boycott. Yet you're just gonna start seeing them boycott. Now, on the other hand, what Greg Burns, Alabama athletic director, and what a lot of athletic directors are going to start doing from now on, they're going to say, oh shit, we got Florida State, Wisconsin, Ohio State, West Virginia, which, yes, that's Alabama's next opponents. That's their series. Like, they have series against those teams. Florida State's. Oh, Greg Burns. If I'm Greg Burns, I'm canceling those games. I'm on the phone right now, and I'm canceling those games. And I'm scheduling FCS opponents. I'm scheduling FCS opponents or I don't know, Mountain West opponents. I'm not scheduling those games because I'm not taking the risk. I got to play those teams at home and on the road, and then I got to go through my SEC schedule. Oh, fuck that. Oh, I am canceling those games immediately. And I'm telling you, you are going to start seeing a lot more of those teams for now on do it. Because SMU got rewarded for it. Notre Dame got rewarded for it. Right? Well, Notre Dame did because they played Texas A&M. But then you look at the rest. I mean, so, I think we can put Notre Dame out of there. But, like SMU got rewarded for it. Indiana got rewarded for it. Like, this is what you're going to start seeing. This is what you're going to start seeing. And it's to a point where the SEC is the best conference anyway. Why the hell, if I'm Alabama, why am I going to take the risk of losing a game when I can just schedule 2 or 3 free wins and then focus on the rest of my schedule, right? Which is going to be good enough for me to get in anyway, even with a couple of losses, right? So this was a lose-lose situation. Right? But we talked about this. I have talked about this. I talked about this during the preseason. I said that the college football bracket was busted. The 12-team playoff was a mistake. It should have been 8 teams because we wouldn't be really having this debate, or we probably would, but it wouldn't be as bad. But this 12-team playoff bullshit, they rushed the process. The criterias were inconsistent. We continue to see again how inconsistent the committee is. Even though SMU was the politically correct decision to make, they didn't go through their criteria. Because the funny part is, I think Miami actually is ranked above Alabama, right? So again, they valued strength of record more than strength of schedule, right? Even though Alabama's strength of record actually is better than Miami's and SMU's. So Alabama checked the most of the criteria boxes and still got left out. So that's another sign, ladies and gentlemen, that the committee, once again, they don't value the criteria points. They go based off of their opinions. But again, this is all subjective. Everything is subjective. At least, like, if we had AI or the computer rankings, at least you're giving a computer you're gonna get objectivity. You're gonna get objectivity, no question about it. But when you have people, when you have to rely on people, and did you see their setup, all those mini screens, and you got TVs in different rooms, and like no one has I think like maybe one person has a beer, no one's got food, and you just watch those people are you just watch them. I mean, like, dude, these motherfuckers have zero football knowledge. Like, you can tell that a majority of them have zero football knowledge. None of them has probably even played the sport before. And we have to rely on these people to help you out and get you in based off of their football knowledge. Because let's be honest, they don't really go by the criteria. They go by subjectivity. They go off of, it's opinionated. And based off of their football knowledge, you have to rely on them to see if they can get you in. But at the end of the day, because I'm not trying to make any excuses for Bama, Bama had the opportunity to get in this thing, and they blew it. They blew it. All you needed to do was beat Oklahoma or Vanderbilt. I hope you would have won both those games. But the fact is that you just needed to win one of those games. One of those games against those two mediocre teams, and we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. We wouldn't be having this conversation. I get it. It's year one. It's a transitional year. You lost a lot of players. You're bringing in a brand new coaching staff. It is what it is. But the fact of the matter is, you lost to two mediocre teams. You didn't lose to Georgia. It's not like you lost to Missouri. It's not like you went on the road and lost in Baton Rouge to LSU. You lost to an Oklahoma team that fired their offensive coordinator. That fired their offensive coordinator midseason. That lost 5-6 receivers. That had a banged up defense. That had no passing game. One-dimensional as hell. And you got destroyed by that team. You didn't just lose, you got killed by that team. And then you lost to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's not a bad team, but that's who you lost to. You lost to a 6-6 Vanderbilt football team who, by the way, the majority of the crowd was Bama fans. It was damn near a home game, and you lost to that team. No excuses. I don't give a shit if it's a transitional year. I don't give a shit how many players we lost. I don't give a shit. I don't care. If you beat Georgia, you competed with Tennessee, who's a playoff team. You beat Missouri. You beat 3 ranked teams. And the 2 losses you had to were against shit football teams. You deserve to get left out. We shouldn't have to rely on the judges to get us in when we had an opportunity to go for the knockout blow. You can't just rely for a unanimous decision or split decision victory because you don't know if you won. You may have the feeling that you win, but at the end of the day, you look at those scorecards, you don't know. It could be an upset. It could be a robbery. We did this to ourselves. So SMU, they got in. They got in. But I'm telling you what is going to happen, that this is going to be the future of college football. We are not going to see these competitive games. I can tell you this right now. I'm telling you, you're going to start seeing a lot of these athletic directors go on their schedule and say, fuck that. We are not playing it because it's not worth it. Especially if we're not in the SEC or the Big, especially if we're in the SEC or the Big Ten Conference. What's the point when our conferences alone are good enough to get us in, even if we have a couple of losses? It's just not worth it. And if this was an 8-team playoff, it's understandable because again, it's 8 teams. You have no room for error. Or if this was still in a 4-team, yes, you need every game to count towards your advantage. So scheduling non-conference opponents, especially the stronger that they are, that matters. That really does matter for you to get into the playoff. An 8-team, I think that's going to matter. A 12-team, though, with 4 extra slots? Fuck that. What's the point? So this was a lose-lose by the committee. They went with the politically correct choice, and it is what it is. It is what it is. They didn't go by the criteria because, let's be honest, this is the 4th time now that this has happened in the final rankings. They did it with us in 2017. They did it with Ohio State in 2014. I think Kansas State got in. That was actually the right decision, was Kansas State, but everyone knew that Bama was the better team. But no, at the same time though, Bama should have, by that logic, Bama should have got in over Kansas State. Because Bama was better. Everyone knew that Bama was better than Kansas State. Everyone knew it. And Bama didn't get in. So again, guys, we have seen this, and it is what it is. We have seen this for countless weeks, countless years of this shit happening. But at the end of the day, Alabama shouldn't have to rely on the judges for the win. You shouldn't have to rely on them. All you needed to do was your job, which was win against 2 mediocre teams, or at least one of them, and we would be in the college football playoff. We have nothing to blame for ourselves. Now, our national championship, because I'm at fuck the Citrus Bowl. I mean, I hope we win it, but who cares about it? I don't care what bowl game we play in. Our national championship, our main focus, is the transfer portal. We better focus that transfer portal and getting better in certain key areas. Because recruiting classes is just not going to cut anymore. You're going to have to rely on that portal. Get better on the offensive line. Get better on the D-line. Get better in your secondary. Get better at receiver. Because for some weird reason, we don't use our receivers. We only use Jerry Bernard and Ryan Williams. So clearly we don't got talent clearly this coaching staff doesn't believe in the talent at this receiving position. So get better at that area so we get more depth. But we got nothing to blame but ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I tried to tell you guys yesterday. I tried to tell you people yesterday, man, I kept saying, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about. Bama's going to get in. This is why. Now, look, because now I see a lot of you guys on the same people that came on my YouTube channel saying that shit. A lot of you people on Twitter are complaining about the rankings. And this is why I didn't hype myself up, because I knew that something like this was going to happen. I didn't hype myself up for this shit. Now, look, now everyone's pissed off, and now everyone's even more mad. But at the end of the day, don't get mad at SMU. Hell, don't even get mad at the committee. Get mad at Kalen DeBoer, this coaching staff, and these players for fucking it up against Oklahoma and Vanderbilt. We wouldn't be in this situation if we never would have lost those games. So it is what it is. But anyway, we'll see. I'll check you guys later. We'll talk more about transfer portal and stuff like that. And again, more live streams, probably on Coach Sean's and Ty's show on Mondays. But catch you guys later. Roll Tide.